Kiss105.3 and 1340. It's your boy Spida Crazy 8, man. I got something special for y'all today. Tomorrow, y'all already know, we're going to be in Fort Smith, throwing it down at the Majestic. 42 Doug coming to the city, bless the city, man. We out here in Fayetteville tonight, man, kicking it, with everybody. Who I got with me today?
It's the monster.
Ominous. So, I remember when my boy T, we call him T, Tyler.
Yeah.
When he told me your name. Talk to me about how did you come up with that name?
Well, I was like 14. I used to go by something different when I was like 11, 12, 13. I used to go by Cartoon, and it just didn't work. It wasn't working. So I wasn't right. So I was chilling with the homies in class, and they pulled out a dictionary, and we started looking for different words that might mean something. And I used to be like a real angry kid growing up.
Okay.
Always mad, had a hood up and everything else, and you came across the word ominous, and it kind of fit.
Okay.
And I kind of had like an infatuation with like horror films and stuff like that too growing up. So it all just kind of worked. And then I used to freestyle a lot when I was young.
Okay.
And they used to always say, "Oh, he's a monster, he's a monster." So it kind of just ominous the monster had a nice ring to it. So
No, it's actually really, really dope. I would say that when we're doing interviews and we're interacting with most artists that we deal with, they have like more. They want to be more like
favorites,
mainstream type of name.
Be like the favorites.
Yeah, so that's dope. It's actually really. I'm really interested to get more into the interview. I do want to bring up this part though because we were talking a little bit before the interview started about your Airbnb, and did you pick that out?
Yeah. Yeah. It's in Fort Smith. It's like vampire themed. Vampire Den. It has a coffin in one of the rooms.
That's incredible.
Bats, ravens. The homies were a little spooked when they walked in there. They weren't aware apparently. I thought I told them, but it's pretty dope.
Yeah, man. So let's get into something. Let's get into your musical influences, right?
Yeah.
So you say that you horror films and things like that.
Yeah.
Who did you grow up listening to?
Man, I listen to it all. The homies can tell you, we sit in the car, 8-hour drive. We came from Texas, right? We were in the car for 8 hours. We listened to everything.
You had the oxygen the whole time.
Yeah. I'm from Minnesota, so of course I love Prince.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope.
Prince, I got tatted on my neck. Fleetwood Mac, Daft Punk. Those are like some non-rap, As far as rappers go, man, you're looking at Tech Nine, Eminem. Recently, it's been more Kevin Gates. D-Baby's hard. He's one of the young dudes coming out.
You say you're from, where you from again?
I'm from Minnesota, but I'm living in Texas right now. So,
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Anybody from Minnesota you rocking with right now that's in the game?
Nah, there's not a lot from Minnesota. I got some homies out there though that are doing their thing.
They're doing it.
And I'm actually gonna be out there next weekend, so I might link with this dude named Jay Plaza, who's pretty dope.
Okay.
Exchange words online, but other than that, there's not a whole lot.
Okay.
Going on out there.
And you say you're in Texas. You rock with Big X. The movement out there.
Big X is cool, bro. Yeah,
doing his thing.
Got that voice.
How long were you? What's the biggest difference between Michigan and Texas?
Minnesota, Texas.
Yeah.
Man.
Music-wise, because I know it could be a lot culture-wise.
Well, now there's no difference because the phones have made everything super accessible, and everybody sounds like everybody, and everybody wants to be, like you said earlier, everybody wants to be like their favorite.
Right.
When like back in the day, I was born in the early 90s, right?
Yeah.
So like growing up, everything was regional.
Yes.
You heard something, you got the CD or whatever, and it was regional. So like Midwest sounded like Midwest.
Right.
That's why the first artists I told you I listened to growing up were Midwest artists. That's like,
that's what they were putting on.
Yeah. So Midwest and West Coast is West Coast, East and then South. Everybody had their own sound, whereas now everything sounds like everything. You got dudes in the East Coast, specifically A$AP Mob and A$AP Rocky and whatnot. They were doing, that Southern twist on all that stuff, and it made them stand out. Like, oh, what is this? This is new. This is fresh. So there's not really any difference, to be honest. Everywhere I go, everything kind of sounds similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's an interesting thing to say because a lot of people want, I don't know if it's just because they're older people, but like people want it to stay like the old way. Texas is Texas, New York is New York, and how it is different. New York people do got the drill in New York is very different.
Okay, yeah, well they do, but there's people also in Minnesota that'll do drill, and people in Texas that'll do drill, and West Coast that'll do drill.
Right.
That's all I'm saying, but like, I mean, yeah, they have their own sounds, of course, like that they started and whatnot. Like the South started, chopped and everything else, that kind of swag, that car culture on that level, slabs and whatnot. Whereas like Minnesota is not known for any of that. Like, it was more fast rapping and whatnot up there. Like, Twista, Bone Thugs, they're all from up north Midwest, so.
Yeah, chop style, like
yeah, like fast rapping, like as far as like originated.
Yeah,
but like you said, everything sounds like everything now.
Yeah. The door is open, man. Everything is ground zero. That's what we call it. You can catch up really fast if you actually got something going on.
Yeah.
So, the music that what would be the best way to describe the type of music that you make?
I don't know. Just real music with a real message, authentic, genuine. Exposed would be the first word I would use. Actually, exposed, vulnerable, raw. Yeah.
Real strong words for music to describe music. And has these been like some of the feedback that you've been getting from your fans, some of the way that they would even describe it as well?
Yeah, no, I get messages every couple of days of people saying how I saved their lives or how my music, how they resonate with certain things that I've said or my story alone, and it's a blessing. To reach people like that.
And music, how does music really truly make you feel? Like when you're doing it, how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel so like growing up, I had a lot of problems that I was dealing with and whatnot, and I always felt like I was unheard. And like doing music makes me feel heard, and it makes me feel like people are feeling my pain, or I'm relating to people like I never could growing up.
Okay.
Yeah,
and so so T-Styles is a pretty big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in music and he does a bunch of different stuff, business that he has going on.
Yeah.
So I don't know where you heard your music at. Do you have like really like dope promotional campaigns going on and things like that? How do you get your music out to people? Because when he told me about you, I was like, okay, cool. And like I had never heard of you before.
Yeah.
But then he told me about you and checked you out. I was like, man, this guy is actually doing some stuff, and T-Styles, he likes horror stuff and things like that. So whatever you're doing as far as promotion, you're reaching the people that you need to reach. Yeah. And so has that all just been based off you having a big break, something clicking on the internet, or are you putting actually really great promotion in to reaching people?
Well, everything has happened organically.
That's
so I'm super blessed on that. But I always said I want to do it that way. I want to pay to play. I don't want to. If you like it, spend it. If you don't, then it ain't supposed to happen.
Really?
And so of course, not everybody can do that. But I encourage anybody that is trying to do music that is got thick skin and can like ride it out and just know that's what they're supposed to do. Like there's no doubt in my mind that I'm supposed to do this. So I just had to stay to it. As far as promotion goes, man, it's just I went viral on TikTok, and I mean it reached the people it's supposed to reach. I guess I don't really have an explanation for it, but I think T-Styles probably saw one of my videos
on TikTok.
Yeah, I blew up last year on TikTok, and then Facebook shortly after. Instagram, I'm still waiting for it to pop out, but it'll come.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I don't know the algorithms. Shout out the algorithms.
Shout out to the algorithm.
Yeah, because we don't really have a promotion team or anything. We just still making music like we always have, and just trying to get, of course we're taking it serious, but we are still trying to have fun and still trying to not get so lost in the
business.
Yeah, because it's so easy, bro. It's like,
especially when you have a family or things to take care of. You can get to a point where like you lose yourself and you're just doing whatever it takes to make the money. And getting even to that point, because as far as like the TikTok video that actually went viral, was it more you being raw or was you having fun?
No, I was being raw. Everything I've ever, that's why I said, like, my music is like, everything is raw, everything is just vulnerable. It's one of my most vulnerable songs, actually, that took off first. It's called Still Got Mine. And you can find that anywhere. But that was the one that took off. And I'm talking about, like, my brother almost dying from overdosing and my mom being on the phone crying and, like, passed away homies. Like, I'm just getting right to the heartstrings, you know?
Yeah.
And then, I'm sorry, what was I saying? I got lost.
Oh, what was it? The video. On how to, what was the content consistent of on that video, pretty much?
Yeah. So that was the concept of the video, of the content, and it was just me being raw and just speaking on stuff like that. Yeah. And it's one of my deepest songs. Okay. And then shortly after, another song, which is my most popular, called Eliza's Son, is T Styles loves that song.
That's the most popular song.
That's the most popular song. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. Well, the first line is relatable. I found like first of all, like the more vulnerable I am, the more people relate, but also certain words are gonna hit and everybody can relate to. For example, Eliza's Son, the first thing I say is, "Mom, man, if I told you everything that I've done, would you?"
Yeah. Okay.
Your son.
Oh yeah.
Would you go out the violence and selection, don't you? The times I hit a dick in every person I jump. I'm happy that I use excuses like that to avoid the truth. You know? Yeah. So that's nice. All right. Appreciate that. So and the beat's pretty fire, or whatever. You'll see it tomorrow. Yeah. I'm gonna perform it tomorrow.
I'm very excited to check you out too when it comes to that, man.
I'm excited.
T talks a lot about you. Man. So it's. You go viral for your type of content. So are you consistently making a certain type of content, or is it just music and only music? Do you do anything else?
Yeah, I just do music. You know, I should be better about that. I should, and I'm sure I will eventually. I'm sure when I get the whole team together, the marketing team or stuff like that, I'll start doing things that will help me expand. Because I can only do so much with what I'm doing, and I am aware of that. It's because people have short attention spans, and that's just what it is. But right now, I just do music. Rooch, my homeboy Rooch, my brother Rooch.
Big Rooch.
Yeah, Big Rooch.
Wow.
He encourages me to do get ready with me videos or like a day.
Yes.
Just follow me. So I do those periodically. You know, I'll be with the family, or for example, we're doing this, so we're vlogging it or whatever. But it's mainly just music stuff, man.
Man, I was just saying because a lot of people, when they come to interviews, they're not what you keep it vulnerable. They don't want to talk about anything that they feel. They just want to like listen to this music. I'm the hottest. This song you need to be listening to. Yeah. So I think they'll enjoy this type of content as far as like an interview when you're talking. Yeah, have you done any more interviews anywhere else? Like people you sat down and got like great responses from like that content just speaking.
Yeah. I what was that one in Minnesota that we did? There was a podcast up there that was fire. These fools are funny. We were in Minnesota and we did one. I think it's called Open Tap. Open Tap podcast in Minnesota, and them fools are fire. Their whole setup is the most professional I've seen. It was crazy. They had about 6 cameras, all the lights rolling. They were prepared. They were fired up.
That's dope.
And it was comfortable.
Yeah.
You know. And so that was one of my favorites that I did. But I did Loud City Society interview in San Antonio. And just a few others, you know. Mainly podcasts.
Yeah, mainly podcasts.
So.
No, that's actually pretty important, man, because people want to see you. And the best thing about it is, like, content, the algorithm works crazy. You just never know what might hit. Like, tomorrow, an interview clip from you will probably go crazy, especially something like this. And now everybody's going to check out your music. I want to talk to you because, dress pretty well. Have you thought about just like modeling and doing any like merch with collabs with anybody?
I thought about it. Yeah. When the time's right, I know that's a keychain. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I grew up my whole life. My whole life I had a Darth Maul birthday cake back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like big time with it. So before I die, I plan on being in Star Wars. Shape or form. Me and my brother Tony Den, we often talk about it. Like before we die, we're gonna be in Star Wars. We'll be an extra. We'll serve a drink, whatever.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm open to anything and everything, and you know,
You
all
know,
the time.
the big thing that I've learned about even content is like take it just matters into your own hand. I really like Crocs, so I just buy them, you know, and
You got the sleeping berries on.
yeah, and like I'm gonna tag them. You know, you might not sponsor me now, but it for sure seems like it. You know what I'm saying? So even like you know, like did you got some footage of the Airbnb, right?
Mm-hmm.
And posting that would be insane. I've never seen anything like that.
We're gonna shoot a video on there too.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What song? Is the song? It's a fan favorite song.
Nah,
No.
be unreleased. Something like that's kind of spooky and fun, so we'll probably just
Do
something. I'm not sure yet, but yeah.
Okay. So all right. So do you have like albums that are out right now?
Yeah.
Like albums. What's your top album? You know, people like singles for sure, but
Yeah.
what's the body of work that everybody knows you about? And will you be doing like a sequel to it, you know?
Yeah. So, man, that's a great question. Because look, remember I told you Elijah's Son is what I grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
This is a message for any artist or any person that feels like you ain't being heard, bro. Like, I dropped Elijah's Son almost 4 years ago, right? That thing, I went viral last year on. Took 3 years and some change for it to hit anywhere. I just pushed it like it was new. It's old to me, but new to you.
Yeah.
And it finally took off. That was on a project called Karloff, which a lot of people say is my best project now. Karloff is Karloff, and that's for Boris Karloff. Boris Karloff is most known for his Frankenstein monster.
Oh, that's dope.
Right.
Okay.
I actually had a stage giant on my back. I can show you after the interview.
Bro, the Easter eggs that you put in your music is crazy. You gotta use those, bro. That's
Well, so Karloff, every track. So Eliza is Boris Karloff's mom. It's not my mom. My mom's name is Jeanette. But none of my fans know that it's your Eliza's son. And like it's my most popular song, so of course they're like, that's his mom, you know?
Yeah.
And every track on there is based some way, shape, or form off of Boris Karloff and like something he's done in his life, like Thomas Bolton or whatever. So that project right there is Karloff, and that one is, you know, doing crazy numbers. I'm super, super grateful. So I said, you know what? I dropped a couple things in between. I dropped Afraid of the Dark with Rouge and Tony Dent. Those are my brothers that are also MIE. MIE is my record label. Forgot to mention that. Monsters Inc. Entertainment.
Yeah.
MIE, run it back. Right?
You said what? Monsters
Inc. Entertainment.
That's, man, all right.
But not INC, like incorporated.
Right.
INK, like Inc. Right?
Okay.
Yes, so Monsters Inc.
Okay. I'm catching it now. I'm seeing a lot of what you're doing with it. It's very interesting because do you take pride in being, well, maybe because I'm not in the world as much as I would like to. Do you feel like anyone has ever done it that way? Yeah. Okay. So
maybe not the same exact way.
Okay.
But so I got multiple things that I look at. One, Tech Nine, I mentioned him earlier. People don't know who Tech Nine is. He's the most successful independent artist ever. So he can do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
That was my thing growing up, and he didn't get his name known until he was like late 30s.
Yeah. Facts.
So I got time still, right?
Oh,
and another person is Jelly Roll. Now Jelly Roll he was never like, I'm not gonna sit here and cap and say he was like an idol behind or anything like that. But I did know of him when he was running around with Lil White and he was rapping. Yep. You know? And Haystack and all that. And then he converted because he wants to talk about marketing teams. That dude has the craziest marketing team. Really good. Because he totally converted and got best country artist at 40 years old. Man. Best new country artist at 40 years old. Yeah. So yeah, man, I got people I look up to that have done it a certain way. I'm just trying to do it my way. And my mom had an interview once, and they asked her about me, and she said, "That's the realest thing she ever said." She said, "My son has been headstrong since the day he was born. If he wants something, he gonna get it. He don't care how long it takes. One track mind, he gonna get it." It's
and so it's so crazy that you talk about that because a lot of like Lil White and Jelly Roll, I did meet and hear about and learn more about through Tyler. Oh, yeah. And yeah, because he's connected to Jelly Roll. He has Lil White's number.
Yeah, I talked to him and I told him one of my favorites is Yellow Wolf, or was. Yeah. Not so much anymore because just it getting a little bit too bluegrass for me, but like earlier on, I love you. It's like big influence.
That Best Friend song.
Yeah. My best friend. Yeah, I love it. So I told T Style, that was one of my favorites or whatever, and I remember he was quick to get me too. And I was like, oh, it makes sense. So
Yes.
we kind of like the same kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, and
Shout out to
understand
him,
just understanding that and thinking about it. You know, so many people are so headstrong on just what's in, like we talked about, and it's so refreshing, and it's such a relief to know that we have as much time as we really want, as long as we're headstrong to get there, man.
Yeah, man, that's my I dislike people that try to put a timeline on anything. It's like just because you didn't do it don't mean we shouldn't try. Like
Right.
nothing's more sad to me than seeing you know me artists and like producers and everything that like love music, they were gonna do it, but real life got to them, that job, that family, that this and that they couldn't keep pursuing their music. Then what happens? You become a bitter old man. You become that old head who hates on everybody that's like rapping and singing. It's like,
Come on now.
you know, and that man, I never want to be that way. I'd rather just go hard as I can, and then hey, if it didn't work out, I got no regrets. I didn't give up.
I say it is, and it's like it will work out. So if you might not, and you know the big thing about music, man, because I host, I rap before I was anything other than just a rapper. I was a rapper, then I became a host, and so I'll get in front of a crowd of people, and like it's ultimately somebody else's song, but the crowd is singing it word for word.
Yeah.
This feels no different than me rapping.
Yeah.
And when you in the music, and you get to a certain age where you're just like, oh, I don't really care about rap no more. By that time, if you really went hard, you're doing something else that's fulfilling that energy or that what you was needing to become a rapper in the first place.
Yeah.
And so if you really go hard at it, like you're saying, and you get your head in it, like where you're at right now, you will still be something in music that's ultimately going to be satisfying.
Yeah, there's so many things you can do, and there's so many things, bro. Like I think the hard part is people not understanding that not everybody has to be a rapper and a singer.
Yes.
Everybody feels like they have to be a rapper and a singer, and maybe you just ain't cut for that. You know, maybe you might be an amazing podcaster.
Yes.
Or you might be whatever. You know, there's so many different things. You might be super connected. That's why you put all your own stuff on. So you might be a manager.
Yeah.
Or whatever. There's so many things. You might be A&R because you got the ear for it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you know is you predicting hits left and right. You know, there's so many things people can do. Just I hate to see it. You know,
it's legit. You just want to feel valuable. You want to feel wanted and needed, and that's ultimately what anybody and everybody wants. And not being able to recognize it is hating. You know, like that's point blank period. But man, you know, we'll go into deep conversations about rappers because I deal with it over like. I deal with rappers 24/7, every day of the week.
we're the most bang.
Man, it's
On shallow pockets with the biggest egos.
the ego thing.
Like, yeah.
And it's, you know, I guess the hardest part about being in my position as a rapper, because I do know music, and I can make music, and I'm not gonna be like I'm the best or whatever. I don't care to do that. But you ain't gonna come to me and just be like you're better than me either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What are we even talking about, bro?
Yeah.
I got the number one song in the world. Yeah.
Right now. Yeah.
Oh, guy who was in here just an hour ago did too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What are you trying to present? What is your brand? What is your story? And I'm glad that you were able to just like even come off with it. And it's interesting. Now I want to know more. And I'm pretty sure people who are listening right now watching the video, they want to know more. And that's way more than just a hot song, man. So I like the way you're putting it together. It makes sense when you're talking about it. So is it the label? What is it called?
MIE. That's something I made. So like 2009. So 2009, I went to music college, right? First year, and I dropped out immediately because it ain't for me. Institute Production recording in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I went there for a couple months. I dipped off on them. I've always been a slacker, you know. But I met some people when I was there. Shout out Nikki Gwiggs. We linked, you know, after all that, and he still had access to the studios. So I recorded a project called Mind of a Monster. Now, when I made Mind of a Monster, not only was every song a banger, but I was like, you know what? I heard a saying from a dude named Hobson. I don't know if you remember Hobson.
I love Hobson.
Yeah, Funk Volume, right? That was a record label. He said something that always stuck with me and resonated with me. And they said it's hard to fall in love with an artist if you don't know him. but it's easy to fall in love with the brand.
Yes.
You ain't meat riding when it's the brand. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard to be like, oh, I love that brand. You don't even say nothing. But you say, I love that artist or I love that man or that person.
Yeah.
People are like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Lazy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I kept that in mind and I was like, okay, I gotta make something up. So I started like thinking of all these different names. And at the time, I was down bad, bro. I was down bad. Shortly after that, I'm sorry, I got my timelines mixed up. Shortly after that, I was like, hey, I gotta make a record label or whatever.
Right.
So I had to move back to my mom's. I tore my ACL, lost my car. My woman is pregnant with my daughter. My son's mad little.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a 2-bedroom apartment in Minnesota. We had to come from Texas back upstate. I don't got nothing. I have no material goods. I have no money. I hadn't made music for a while prior. And I'm like, oh, I gotta make something shake. Right? Because my daughter's about to be born. And, you know, having kids is gonna multiply who you are.
Right.
If you're a sucker, you're gonna become a bigger sucker. If you're a hustler, you become a bigger hustler. Right. Your morals really kick in when you got the babies looking at you. So what I did, bro, and that's why I tell people there is no excuse. So what I did is I gotta make this record label. I gotta figure out how I gotta make a logo and I gotta connect the dots. So I didn't have a car or anything like I said. So what I did is I hopped on the city bus with my hoop cast and everything on. And I went all the way to the city library and I walked in there and I hopped on the thing. And this is after I decided to go with Monsters Inc. Entertainment. Right? A lot of brainstorming was involved prior. And I go to the public library and I go to a website called pickmonkey.com. I don't know if any of y'all remember that. That was a real thing. So pickmonkey.com, and I made what you see on our shirts and skin and whatnot.
Yeah.
I made that and I said, okay, we're gonna start pushing it. And of course I had no traction on SoundCloud or anything like that.
Right.
But I was, you know,
you
still pushing it. Yeah, just one day at a time, one follower at a time.
That's all you need.
And now here we are. And I showed you some of the pictures. There's over 40 people with MIE tatted on their skin.
By the way, that is amazing. That is amazing. It would be crazy for one person to do.
Yeah.
It would be out of this world for somebody to walk in here and be like, hey man, somebody got my brand tatted on me. You know, I think I only seen somebody with 2K on them one time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's amazing, bro. That's a really big deal, man. I really like that a lot, bro, for real.
I appreciate it, and that's one of my greatest accomplishments so far. Just be able to connect with people that feel that strongly about my message.
Yes.
I told you about some of the messages I get daily, you know. And,
yes, sir.
Goes to show.
Man, musically, because you get attached, the brand, and that's a big thing. The brand, you're pushing the dope brand. Musically, besides your music going viral, performing-wise, right? Mm-hmm. Have you performed a lot?
I performed since I was a kid. So my youngest brother's dad is a producer in Minnesota, or he was a producer in Minnesota growing up.
Okay.
So when I met him, he walked in with a CD full of instrumentals. He was there to see my mom, so he gave me the CD and he's like, "Here, go check it out." So I run to the basement. I had a little 5-disc CD changer. I throw it in there, and I started writing. Right, but the crazy part is, I knew what a 16 was. I knew the layout of the beat, the structure of the beat without ever hearing an instrumental. I knew that this is where a hook needs to go. This breakdown, this different change in tone, this needs to be the verse, right?
Right.
So it just came to me naturally. And my first time performing, so I started writing music then. I started recording when I was like 13.
Okay.
My first time ever performing in an actual bar was, I was 14 in Minnesota, Maplewood, Minnesota. And I went crazy, bro.
When
I killed it. I rehearsed like 2 weeks. Like I took that so serious, you know?
Yeah.
And I ate it. And I remember walking off stage, these women were like, of course, in my mind, I'm a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm thinking the girls are checking for me, like the women are checking for me, like you know, shooting at me. But really, they're not. They're just trying to tell me how cute I am and great job, you know. But in my mind, a little kid mind, I'm being trying to shoot. So I'm trying to be like, I'm kind of like acting like I'm hearing them.
Yeah.
And they're like, come here. You know, I got to play it off like, I'm too cool for this, you know.
Yeah, I just went off, man.
Yeah, I don't even see him. I'm too big for this, you know. But really, I was super nervous, and everybody gave me love and props. And then I started doing talent shows and everything until I was like 18, and then I started diving really deep into drugs and making all the wrong decisions. I quit making music for many years, or just like shooting videos. And I'm the best in this small town, so it must mean something.
Right.
You know, inflated ego, you know, bunch of yes men, all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just stopped doing stuff for a long time, and then something clicked in me. I was probably like a couple years after that, after I stopped doing everything. I said I gotta start doing it again. So I go to San Antonio. I go to an open mic, bro, and there's one person there, and it's the host. So it's me, the host, and the bartender, and I'm up there every week or whatever it was, every month. I can't remember, but
Yeah.
I was pulling up, and nobody was ever there for mad times, and then eventually I started bringing some people with me. And they started getting a little bigger too. Their crowd, my crowd, and then we just kept rolling. People started getting tatted, and people started wearing merch. And
Really building the fan base.
yeah. And now when we go hometown stuff, it's pretty packed.
Yeah.
Some stuff out here is, hit or miss, of course.
Yes. And it's like that for even the guys that everybody think is got it going on. Like it's being in the music industry now, and it's not really a big difference in between what people who feel like got it going on versus the guys who's actually really in the field doing the footwork. Really not. Man, that's amazing. It's a super success story.
There. Not quite.
Not quite yet. Okay. And then success is whatever you measured it to be.
Yeah, that's true. Perception.
Yeah. So during the time when you wasn't doing music, then getting back to it, what was that feeling? Did you feel like you were missing something when you weren't doing the music?
I did, but it wasn't because I wasn't doing music. I was just like, I think I was just trying to dig myself out, like slowly, but like not like intentionally, just like subconsciously, just whatever. It's whatever. I grew up in a really violent home, and crazy stories like that. So once I started getting a taste of that, the ticks, man, started. It's all I cared about. And then, like I said, a bunch of yes men with a bunch of drugs, and you're doing whatever, and then all the ladies is all on you all the time, and it was like it's just a recipe for chaos,
Gotcha.
And luckily, I'm not religious or anything, but luckily, some maybe, whether it was the universe or God or whatever you believe in, some grabbed me and said, hey, let's
get this right.
Yeah, let's get to it. And then my kids, of course, saved my life. My woman, Stephanie, my wife, Stephanie, and my kids, they all saved my life. So a lot of what I do is for them.
Gotcha. Okay. So, man, that's a lot. That's
I wasn't trying to go too far.
No. No, it's good, bro. Like when I say I like to make sure you understand what you're doing when it's necessary.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't doing it as much as you think that they are. They're not. A lot of people aren't even able to.
Yeah.
They don't even want to show their side. So it's a lot, bro. It's really good. Let's go into what's coming up next. Are you working on a project? You say you were doing music videos at the Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
What can the fans expect to be seeing in the next coming up weeks or month?
Man, so in the next couple weeks, you can probably see a couple music videos, and I got the show obviously tomorrow night, 42 Dog and Young Days at the Majestic with Fort Smith. That's gonna be super dope.
Yes.
Nothing else really other than like the usual, you can get your daily, reels and videos. And I just dropped a project called Black Heart Memoirs, and I'm like, we just dropped it a couple weeks ago, so we're pushing that heavy.
Okay.
And starting to get a lot of content from that. But what I will say is next year I'm going back to that marketing thing we were talking about.
Yes,
I
sir.
start investing my bread the right way, give it the right people, and try to take it really to the next level. I'm trying to come back to Arkansas next year. We have this conversation, and it's gonna be, it's gonna be a bus parked out there. Or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. With merch.
Yeah. Crazy merch. Just everything that we kind of spoke on. I'm trying to bring to life anymore. So
yeah. Man, you're on your way, bro. Like I said, dealing with guys like T Styles, he can get you there. If he believes in you, he got a big influence. A lot of other people believe in you. So stay locked in with that, especially when it comes to Arkansas. You practically already got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've seen him work with a bunch of different artists that are, in that lane. And man, he definitely turns me on to him too. So like he will get you out there for sure. Dream collab. That one gets everybody.
It do, but it depends on where you want to go.
Yeah.
So like, if we're gonna go with like non-rap, I always go non-rap.
Okay, no.
First, right? I'm
Like
singing mix.
Are we talking about singing or like pop? Like non-rap?
I got some pop music too. Crazy.
Okay.
I'll show you something here in a minute.
I'm gonna tap in. We're gonna check it out.
Yeah, I got some pop music too. That's crazy. It's still me though. It's not like forced on some. I'll just show you.
I'll check it out. Yeah, I'm with it.
So man, look, Daft Punk is no longer a duo, or else I would definitely say Daft Punk off the muscle.
That's dope.
I love Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Grew up listening to it. Me and my childhood friend Rashi, we used to listen to Daft Punk for hours. But Stevie Nicks will be a good one. If I can get Maxwell on a track with me, that'd be nice.
Maxwell. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're getting into it right now, baby.
yeah. Both of them. If I'm gonna go more towards rap, I'm gonna probably say Gang Ties June, 51 June.
Okay.
I think he just changed his name to 51 June. Me and Rich used to say his name wrong for the longest. We used to know every word, but we did not know how to say his name. My homegirl and was like, "Hey, that's not how you say his name, right?"
Oh man.
Yeah. Shout out her. But what's another one? D Baby, of course.
D Baby's dope.
D Baby's really good. He's another vulnerable artist.
Yeah.
Gates would be nice. I got too many dream class, man.
Man, Rod Wave.
We were just listening to him before he pulled up.
Man, now he got the people on lock.
Yeah.
And then I'm not a super fan of him because I think a lot of the stuff is the same sound, but it's really good.
Catchy though.
Yeah, it's really good.
The same song, but catchy. Man,
he got me again.
Yeah, got me again. I always want to do it.
Yeah.
My kids love him too. My kids will sit there and just jam.
Insane.
My kids are 12 and 9, so like they're at that fun age to where they got an opinion for real.
Yes. My boys like that too. I try to be the cool dad with them. I already heard whatever you finna be listening to, bro. I listen to Uzi Vert too. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Did you listen to Uzi Vert? Yeah, it's trash. And then like a week later, they're jamming nothing but Uzi Vert in the rooms. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here, bro.
Yeah. Trying to be cool. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my kids like Tyler the Creator.
Tyler Creator's dope.
Yeah, Juice. They listen to a lot of stuff that I listen to.
R.I.P. Juice, that's my son's favorite. It's Juice and X.
Most definitely. I like
X,
that.
not DMX.
Not DMX.
I grew up on DMX too. I can't believe I didn't tell you that. That was top 5 for me growing up with DMX.
Really?
Big time.
Okay.
That's why I'm a dog man too, man. So M.I.E. Pressa is my kennel.
Oh, really?
Pressa Denario. You know what Pressa Denario are?
I don't know that.
You know what a Cane Corso is?
I do know what kind of culture.
Yeah, that would be you call them Cane Corso.
Cane Corsos, yes.
Yeah. So they look a lot like a Cane Corso, but they're from the islands of Spain.
Oh,
Right, that's where they originate. Whereas Corsos come from Italy. They're Italian Masters as opposed to Canary Island Masters, or Canary Masters. So I train those kind of dogs. I breed them and train them, and just protection work. My thing is, if I'm gonna leave the crib and my family's gonna be there, my dog has to have a purpose. Personally, there's nothing wrong with that, dogs. We got those too. But
yeah.
So like my love of dogs and everything, and me being a dog man while also rapping, and DMX did have a little bit of a darker side to him. If you hear my music, you'll see there's always a little bit of darkness there.
Yeah.
And so DMX definitely was probably one of my biggest influences.
Oh,
For sure.
Man, and definitely a unique story, and something very interesting to be tapped into, and want to know more information. I can see why your fans are DMing you, and they're very interactive. Because you give them the type of content and the messages to be interactive, which is a very big thing. A lot of people just giving out music and they don't have anything else for to make somebody be interested in it.
Well, it's hard to. It's big thing I had to deal with is getting back to everybody, and I always feel so guilty. At first I did anyways, and now I just try to get back. Or like they might say something super heartfelt, and I don't have the words for them. So I'm like, ooh, that's tough because
That's real tough.
Yeah, you're telling me all these like healing things and like all this crazy stuff, and I don't know you, but I do love you, and I appreciate you for that. And I feel bad for you. And I hate when people like tell me, sorry for your loss or whatever, and it's just like, but you don't know me. So I never want to be that way towards my fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I always deal with, that and trying to get it right every time,
Yeah, and this man, you said a mouthful with that one.
Yeah.
You said a mouthful with that one, man. But look, I ain't gonna keep you too much longer. I know we in the studio tonight, right?
Giveaway production, baby.
Do you normally try to tap in with some of the local market when you come to the area?
I can, I do.
Okay.
Not everybody has the connections.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, for plugging me with them. Sometimes you just can't find somebody, and it's hard to go on Google and
Just, because a lot of people don't have their stuff together like that shit.
the fans will be like, yeah, I got a spot. It's like they're great.
Yeah,
It's like,
you don't
bro.
do that.
And they're writing,
Yeah. Nah, that's crazy, man.
I try to though. That and podcast interviews in studio. Everywhere I go, we always try to make sure we just try to make the most of it.
Tap in with it.
Yeah, we're trying to, like I said, next year we're trying to be big time. So
yeah, I mean you're on your way. You're saying all the right things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real, bro.
Right now, for a listener, first time they're hearing your story, where can they find you at, and which song would you tell them to check out if they want to get their best first impression?
Man, look, Ominous the Monster. OMINOUS THEMONSTER. Ominous the Monster, right? Everywhere, anywhere. That's just what it is. Super easy to find me. My cash app's even the same.
Yes,
I'm not saying y'all
sir.
should send me nothing, but what I'm saying is I kept everything the same from the email to the from the tags and everything early on because I never wanted to
Switch it.
explain myself later on. I knew what I was gonna do before I knew where I was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? I knew what I was gonna do. So I planned that way. If you wanna, I would just say Eliza's son, ELIZAS son. That's my most popular. That's the song that everybody heard, including T-Style. That everybody loves that one. I mean, that one changed my life. That is the song that changed my life. But if you want to also tap into something that people also been loving a lot, I think it's sitting at like 300,000 streams on Spotify. It's Monsters Love Song. That's a newer one, and it's my first and probably only love song, but it's my version of it. And people do love that. I'm gonna perform that one tomorrow night too. So
Man, tomorrow night we at the Majestic. Come check out my guy. I might get on stage and do something. Y'all know how I do when it comes to these shows. You know what I'm saying? But we appreciate everybody that was tapped in. If you was listening right now, if you haven't got your tickets to the Majestic, what you do is going to be in the city in Fort Smith. Everybody that's in Fort Smith been talking to me about it all week, all month really. So it's going to be a great time. I can't wait to see you guys, man. Y'all know what it is. Your boy Spida Crazy 8 on Kiss 105.3.